Hi, welcome to Lesson 4, Multiplication Part 1. For today's lesson, you're going to need 32 very small items like pieces of cereal, beans, or raisins that you can use for counting, the magnetic shapes from your math box, and a whiteboard, marker, and eraser, or some blank paper. Let's look at our multiplication problems. So our first one, the first section that I've done here are the ones that are doubles, like 9 times 9, 8 times 8. So let's look at those first. 9 times 9 is 81. 8 times 8 is 64. 6 times 6 is 36. And 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the commutative property of multiplication. What that means, it's a big fancy word, that just means it doesn't matter if you do 5 times 3 or 3 times 5, you're going to get the same product or the same answer. So when we're learning 5 times 3, you're also learning 3 times 5 because they have the same product. So 5 times 3 is 15, and 3 times 5 is 15. 8 times 4 is 32, and 4 times 8 is 32. 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 3 is 12. 6 times 4 is 24. So 4 times 6 is 24. Okay, let's practice our skip counting. Skip count by threes from 3 to 36. Push pause and do that now. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36. Okay, now skip count backward by fives from 50 to 0. Pause and do that now. 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, 0. Okay, let's get started with the lesson. During their summer vacation last year, Chun and Bo enjoyed strolling up and down the beach, collecting the most beautiful seashells. They were amazed at how God created each shell with a unique pattern. Chun set out all of her seashells along the sand and noticed that there were 3 groups of 4 seashells. To find the total number of seashells Chun found, you can skip count, or you can count all the seashells one by one, or you can add 4 plus 4 plus 4. You can even skip count by 4 3 times. So we call that repeated addition, where you're adding 4 plus 4 plus 4. How many total seashells did Chun find? Did you say 12? Good. Have you heard of multiplication? Let's learn more about how multiplication can help us complete problems quickly. Multiplication means we add equal groups many times. For example, Chun's seashells are in equal groups of 4. Since she has 3 groups, we can add 4 seashells 3 times, or multiply 3 times 4, as in the problem shown here. Okay, so we have 3 groups times 4 seashells in each group equals 12 total seashells. 3 times 4 equals 12. A good way to understand multiplication and later division is to remember the word get. So in multiplication, if we're remembering get, the G stands for groups. How many groups are there? In the Chun example, there were 3 groups. The E stands for each. How many are in each group? And the T stands for total. The total is the answer, which is also called the product. So if you know the groups and the number in each group, you can find the total. Okay, here's where you're going to need your 32 cereal pieces or beans or raisins or whatever other small object you're using. Bo found 6 groups of 3 seashells. Do you see his 6 groups here? Let's find out how many total seashells he found by placing 3 items, your small items, into each of the 6 circles below. Since I can't put cereal on my board, I'm just going to use X's. Okay, does your picture look like mine? So how many seashells did he find? Fill in the correct answer. So to do that, you can skip count by 6s, count by 6, skip count 6 times by 3s. So like we practiced earlier, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. So if there are 6 groups, that's your G, times 3 in each group, that's your E, your total is going to be 18. Okay, now we're going to model some others. This is where you'll need either your whiteboard or your sheets of paper. On your whiteboard or paper, model 4 times 6. So this is our G. We're going to need 4 groups, and we're going to have 6 in each group. So draw your 4 circles for your groups. Then you're going to put 6 items in each circle. Pause and do that now. Okay, so now we have 4 groups of 6. So in this case, we would do skip counting by 6s, which is not something we have learned yet. But if we did that, it would be 6, 12, 18, 24. So 4 times 6 equals 24. Okay, erase your whiteboard or get a new sheet of paper. Now let's model 7 times 2. So our G, our groups, is 7, and there's going to be 2 in each group. So let's draw 7 circles. Pause and do that now. Okay, once you have your 7 circles, put 2 of each small item in your circles. Pause and do that now. Okay, now that you have 2 of each item in your circles, we're going to skip count 7 times by 2s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if we do that, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So 7 times 2 equals 14. Another good way to remember this is that if you're multiplying by 2, you just double the other number. So 7 plus 7 equals 14. Okay, let's try one more. On your whiteboard or paper, we're going to model 8 times 3. See if you can do this one on your own. Remember your groups and the number in each group. Pause and do that now. Okay, so you should have drawn 8 circles for your groups and put 3 items in each group. Then we're going to skip count by 3s 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. And we'd say 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. So 24 is going to be our T, our total. So we know that 8 times 3 equals 24. That's our total. Yeah. Okay, now we're to the lesson practice. This is the part that you do on your own, and you have a parent or teacher check it for you. So on this sheet, use your small manipulative pieces, those are your little pieces of cereal or beans, from the lesson to create groups and solve each multiplication problem below. Write your answers in the bubbles. So where you have the problem, you put your answer in the bubble next to that fish. Then down at the bottom, it says skip count to find the answers. 6 times 5 equals blank. So like we were doing in our practice, you're going to skip count to find the total. Same thing here, 6 times 2. We're going to count by 2's 6 times and find our total to put here. Pause the video and do this page now. Okay, this is a really fun one. I find that if you have a small magnetic whiteboard and you put this page on top of it, it really helps to keep your shapes very organized and still. But if you don't, just do it on the paper on your tabletop. So you're going to use the shapes from the math box to create the large white shapes. In each white shape, draw the shapes you use to create the white shape so you can trace around those after you're done. For this triangle, you're going to use 2 of the red trapezoids, 4 of the green triangles, and 1 yellow hexagon. For this hexagon shape, hex and 6 both have an X, you're going to use 1 green triangle, 1 blue parallelogram, and 1 red trapezoid. In this rhombus shape, you're going to use 2 green triangles and 2 of the red trapezoids. And in this large trapezoid shape, you're going to use 1 yellow hexagon, 1 green triangle, 1 blue parallelogram, and 1 red trapezoid. Okay, go ahead and do those now. I would suggest laying out one to figure it out, draw in the shapes, and then move on to the next one. Push pause and do this page, then come back. All right, now we're to the review and activities. Okay, on this page, circle the digits that round up to 10. So when we were learning about rounding, the numbers that would round up to 10. Circle the correct answers. Round 426 to the nearest 10. Round 752 to the nearest 100. Round 247 to the nearest 100. Write the numbers shown in expanded form in the green boxes below and complete the problems. Remember to use zeros as placeholders and to include commas in the answers. So take this, turn it into standard form, write it here, then add. For the next column, write the number on the chart. Remember to include the comma. And remember, our clue of how to help with this is to circle the word 1,000 and underline what comes before and after. That helps you make sure that you're putting things in the correct place value area on the chart. Complete the problems. Write the answers in the spaces below. There were 1,762 people at the beach when Chun and Bo visited it. Round this number to the nearest 100. While snorkeling, Bo counted 85 fish in the ocean. Round this number to the nearest 10. At the top of this column, What is the largest number you can create using each of these digits only once? What is the smallest number you can create using each of these digits once? So largest number, smallest number. Unscramble the letters to find a number word. So these are number words, and they're also number words for digits. So think about what number word, 0 through 9, would have these letters. What number word, 0 through 9, would have these letters? What number word would have these letters? And what number word would have these letters? Okay, draw the hands on the clock to represent the time shown. Remember that the hour hand moves closer and closer to the next number as the minutes go by. Also remember that the word hour is a shorter word and it's the shorter hand. Minute is a longer word and it's the longer hand. So your minute hand is going to be longer than your hour hand. Congratulations, you completed lesson number 4. Give your papers to your parent or teacher so they can check your work, and I'll see you here next time. Bye-bye.